Hey, welcome to Freedom on Fire. This is Robert Brown. How are you doing today? I've been out a little under the weather, but thanks to orange juice and Theraflu, I'm a little bit better now. Theraflu, let me stop. I'm not advertising. Anyway, today I'm going to be doing in the future a series on Donald Trump, our new president-elect, the real Donald Trump, the fake Donald Trump, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go through this. We're going to debunk some things. We're going to go over some things. I'm talking about the David Duke. I'm talking about the endorsement of the Klan. I'm talking about some of the so-called racist thing that Donald Trump said. I'm going to talk about all that stuff today. But today I'm going to talk about something important, and that's the initiative that Donald Trump has put in place to lift up urban communities. Donald J. Trump, president-elect, the racist, the buffoon, the sexist, some people call idiot, orange chicken, whatever. Other words, not mine. President-elect. The one that people march around saying, that's not my president. Well, on the date of October the 31st, I think it was, Halloween. Is this a trick or treat? I hope it's a treat. I hope it's not a trick, Donald Trump. I hope this is not a trick. I really hope this is a treat. And if this is a treat, like I told you, I don't wear party hats. I'm going to go for the person who's really going to work hard for the working people. I don't care what party you're in. That's who I'm going for. And since Bernie was out and you took his message and ran on a populist message and won, not based on votes, but based on electoral college, which means you don't have a mandate. Let me get into this. Donald Trump basically said, look, Democrats haven't been doing anything for black people. They've been using black people for votes. They've been using minorities for votes and have not done nothing for them. I agree with you, Donald. I agree with you. Haven't done nothing. 2 terms of a black president have not done anything for the black community. Hooked up the Hispanic community with the Dreamers, hooked up the lesbian gay community, but didn't do anything for the black community. Getting us out of jail for smoking weed. Black people not the only person smoking weed. Thank you for that, but a lot of us are not in jail, Mr. President. But I do thank you for that. But have not done anything for black people. You still got a chance, Mr. Obama. You still got a chance. You got less than a month. You got inauguration day is coming. You can do something big. But let me get into this. These are some of the things that Donald Trump said he wants to do to bring up and bring out the urban communities. Now, mind you, before he ran for president, he had this organization that was designed to uplift black people. A lot of people didn't know about that. He had that 10 years ago. Mind you that Donald Trump, in my investigation, I find out that he mysteriously give into urban programs in the black community. That skating rink that's on the end of Harlem, that's Donald Trump's name put to that. He did that because he wanted more African Americans to be able to participate in hockey and things like that. So there's a lot of things you're going to find out about Donald Trump that they're not going to tell you on TV. Does that mean I'm a pro-Trump, go Trump, you my man? No. No. My man was Bernie Sanders, and my lady became Jill Stein. Why? Because they have a program and a plan for the people. They blocked Jill Stein out where she couldn't get a shot. A lot of you did that, didn't give her a shot. And Hillary Clinton cheated Bernie out of the nomination, and she wasn't talking the talk that the American people need to talk about. Trump picked up on Bernie Sanders' talking points, ran on that, and won. Our job as American citizens, not as progressives, not as liberals, not a none of that, our job as American citizens is to make sure he do what he ran on. That make sure he keep every inch that he does, every inch that he says that he's going to do. Because you don't want us to think of you as the user of our vote either, Donald Trump. Because it looks that way when you done hired majority of a corporate cabinet who could give 2 cents about the working people. But you said things, and we're going to hold your feet to the fire on the things that you said, and I'm going to do that with this right now. Trump New Deal for Black Americans. Let's get right into it. Number one, great education through school choice. Now, I am a fan of school choices. I've seen kids in charter school grow up to be public charter schools. There are two charter schools. One is private, one is public. I've seen kids who participate in public charter schools, which is huge here in New York, and they turn out to be outstanding citizens. We have that here in New York City, where wherever a kid likes to do, whatever a kid likes to do, we putting them in school to learn how to do that. I wish that can happen for America. Donald Trump said, no, I want that to happen for America. If you want to homeschool your child, I want you to be able to do that. And look, a lot of kids that were under my tutelage as a youth minister was homeschooled, and they turned out to be great, bright, beautiful kids. So I can't knock homeschooling. I can't knock public charter school. I probably can't knock private school either. Donald Trump said, no, if you want to, I want you to have school choice. We will allow every disadvantaged child in America to attend public, private, charter, magnet, religious, or homeschool of their choice. Nothing wrong with religious school. I've seen some great, bright kids come out of some religious school. I've seen some get messed up, but then I've seen some come out productive in society. School choice is the great civil rights issue of our time. Donald Trump will be the nation's biggest cheerleader for school choice in all 50 states. I'm sorry to tell you, progressives, I am a person that's for school choice. I've seen some crappy public schools. I wouldn't send your child, let alone my child, to that school. Those schools. No. If I can get them in a school like the schools I've seen some of these kids grow up in, like Harlem Success, they in there. They in there. You know, and I had the opportunity to be an honorary chaperone with some of these, with Harlem Success, and going on great trips and learning about history. So Donald Trump said he wants to do that in all 50 states. He's also said, I want to provide funding. I want to pour some money into historic black colleges and universities and make it more affordable for people to attend 2- and 4-year colleges. And I also want to support, I'm going to hugely support trade and vocational educational programs. So what happened to the vocab schools? What happened to the trade schools? We don't have many of those that much, but we need more of those. And we need to make it easy for people to go to school. I say this, Mr. Trump, cut down at least 5% of the federal budget going into the military industrial complex and put that money into schools so we can have people go to public college for free. No matter what they got in their pocket. If they want to go to public college for free, they should be able to do that. And that will encourage better citizens and more intellectual citizens that will help grow us as Americans. Now, let me continue to go because I don't have that much time. Safe communities. He said, look, we want to invest in making sure the community is safe. We want to try to do whatever we can to drive out the drugs, the drug dealers and things like that. My thing is, how are you going to do it? Are you going to militarize the police department? Are you going to demilitarize the police department and make this a community-led policing versus militant-led policing? Community-led policing always enhance the community, not military-led policing. We don't need a fascist police state running the neighborhoods in urban communities. Third thing, equal justice under the law. We apply the law firmly, equally, without prejudice. In other words, basically saying it doesn't matter if you're a bum on the street to a top-notch billionaire. If you break the law, you're going to get the same justice as a person who don't have money. Now, I want to see that because that's not easy said and done. I represent a company that offer legal services to people who can't afford it, top-notch legal services for people who can't afford it. And the way our system is built, we make it more affordable for them to have top-notch services because of the many people that participate in that program. It's almost like paying into healthcare and everything. The more you pay into it, it's cheaper and easier for you to get quality doctors at a low cost. Same thing with this. I want to see how Donald Trump want to make sure that equal justice is for all. Number 4, tax reform to create jobs and lift up people in the community. Now, this kind of threw me off because I am not for cutting taxes of corporations. Matter of fact, too many corporations are on welfare. They're not paying tax. Well, we need to slap the taxes on. Let's make it slap taxes on companies. We're tired of this corporate welfare. You talk about minorities being on welfare, but you don't talk about the corporations being on welfare. It's time to cut that. So let's fix both. Let's help the minorities get off welfare and help the companies get off welfare. So I guess his way of proposing that is lowering the business tax from 35% to 15%. Now that's a huge hike. That's 20% cut. He said, the reason I would rather do this is to bring thousands of new companies back to our shores or to our shores. We'll also have a massive middle class tax cut, tax-free child care saving account, a child tax deduction and credit, and we'll also have tax holidays for inner city. In other words, he's saying that I believe that if I can cut some of these taxes, it will attract more companies to come back home. Because right now they're overseas and they have no incentive to come back home. And some of them not even paying taxes. And they're hiding their money in the Cayman Islands and things like that with no taxes. Let's cut their taxes, give them a reason to come back, bring the jobs back. And if they bring the companies back and hire the people in the inner city communities, then we'll get more people paying into the taxes. And we got more people working paying taxes and got more companies coming back paying taxes. Not as much tax as I would want, but I'd rather have the workers paying taxes and the companies paying taxes, period, versus no workers paying taxes and companies not paying taxes at all because they're overseas. Okay, now I'm looking forward to this thing, getting a little more clarity on it, but I think I can see a little bit into what he's doing. And it does sound like a sign of strength versus not having any strength in the community. 15% is better than nothing at all. And when you got a company that took their business overseas, that means they're not liable to the laws of the United States anymore. They're only liable to their region. Okay, and the only thing Trump can do is slap a tariff if they don't do right by the American people, which he goes into this also. All right, he said, we will also have tax holidays for inner city investments, a new tax incentive to get foreign companies to relocate and blight in American neighborhoods. In other words, he wants foreign companies to come into the neighborhood. So what he want to do is make sure that he can do whatever he can to get foreign companies to come into American neighborhoods. We'll empower cities and states to seek a federal disaster designation in order to initiate the rebuilding of vital infrastructure and the demolition of abandoned properties and increased presence of law enforcement. Number 5, financial reform to expand credit to support new job creation. We will have financial reforms that make it easier for young African Americans to get credit to pursue their dreams in business and create jobs in their community. Dodd-Frank has been a disaster. I agree with you, Mr. Trump, making it harder for small businesses to get the credit they need. The policies of the Clintons brought us the financial recession. True. Along with the Bush. Through lifting Glass-Steagall, pushing subprime lending, and blocking reforms to Fannie and Freddie. It's time for 21st century Glass-Steagall, and I agree with that. And as a part of that, a priority of helping African American businesses get the credit that they need. We'll also encourage small business creation by allowing social welfare workers to convert poverty assistance into repayable but forgivable microloans. Now, I don't know about that. You're telling me that if women get welfare check, you're going to make this a loan? Going to go a little more detail in that. If that's so, that ain't happening, Doc. But if you want to help a mom of 5 start a business, I can understand that. 6, trade that works for American workers. We'll stop the massive chronic trade deficit that have emptied out our jobs. We won't let our jobs be stolen from us anymore. We will stop the offshoring of companies to low wages countries and raise wages at home. Raise wages at home. Meaning rent and bills becomes instantly more affordable. We will tell executives that if they move their factories to Mexico or any other country, we will put a 35% tax. That's what I want to hear. On their products before they're shipped back to America. Because we are the majority of the consumers, that's a huge deal. In other words, Donald is laying it out plain, and I'm holding your feet to the fire on this. Bernie is holding, other progressives are holding. The people need to hold his feet to the fire on this. Take it as it is for now. Don't assume that it's just a lie. He said it out of his mouth. Now we got to put it in his face. He's saying, look, this is what I want to do. I need to get jobs to come back to America, and the only way I can do that is give them an incentive to come back to America. And I'm going to give them an incentive. I'm not just going to slap the 35%. I'm going to say, hey, bring your jobs back to America, bring them into the inner cities, and we're going to cut your tax. I know you normally would be paying 35%, but we're going to make it 15%. Why? Because we think it's smarter and it helps America more financially if you're in here paying 15%, yet you got hundreds, maybe even thousands of workers actually working instead of being in the assistance line. They're working because most of them want to work, and they're paying their fair share of taxes. You're paying your fair share of taxes. But if they're not working and you're overseas, this hurts America. Nobody's paying their fair share because nobody have a job to pay taxes. So come on back home. We'll give you a 15% tax cut. And we're going to make sure the workers get a great tax cut. But if you ignore me, after I give you this option, if you continue to move your jobs overseas, I'm going to hit you, and I'm going to hit you hard with 35% tariff. 35% tariff. Number seven, protection for illegal immigrants. We will restore the civil rights of African American, Hispanic Americans, and all Americans by ending. No group has been more economically harmed by decades of illegal immigration than the low-income African American workers. Hillary's pledge to enact open borders made in secret to a foreign bank would destroy African American middle class. We will reform visa rules to give American workers preference for jobs, and we will suspend reckless refugee admissions from terror-prone regions that cost taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars. We'll use that portion of that money saved by enforcing our laws and suspending refugees to reinvest in our inner cities. In other words, and I'm going to talk about this on another Trump episode. When he didn't, from what I know from watching that video over and over again, he said that Mexico wasn't sending their brightest, more productive citizens. A lot of times they were throwing away the criminals. They don't want them in the country, and those people end up coming to America, and they end up doing the same thing they're doing here. From what I know from understanding the video, he didn't say all Mexicans. No, he said that there are some Mexicans in this country, and those are the people we're going to send out of here. According to what I know from his policies, looking at his policy, he do want to offer a pathway to citizenship for those who have been productive in America, from what I know from investigating him. I know it sounds like I'm a cheerleader, but I'm not. I try to find the facts and tell the truth. And you can go back and watch those videos too. Don't watch unedited. Watch the entire video. Don't watch snippets and clips. Watch the entire video. He's saying, oh, we're going to do that. We're going to make sure those who are productive get the work that they need. And yet, we're going to be careful on how we bring people in this country, not just from war-torn regions, terror regions, but anybody coming into this country. We're going to check you out because we're not going to be fooled. You can be from France and still come here and bomb America. We're not going to be playing that. So he's saying, and we're going to fix the system that we currently have to make a better system, and the money that we've been spending on this crap is going to go toward rebuilding the community. Number 8, new infrastructure investment. We will leverage public-private partnership and private investments through tax incentives to spur $1 trillion in infrastructure investment over 10 years, of which the inner cities will be the major beneficiary of it. We will cancel all wasteful climate change spending from the Obama-Clinton administration, including all global warming payment to the United Nations. This will save $100 billion over 8 years. We will use these to help rebuild the vital infrastructure, including the water system in Americans' inner cities. Number 9, protecting the African American church. This is huge for me because I love my church. And a lot of times we do get some, I'm not going to go into that. We will protect religious liberties, promote strong families, and support the African American church. Enough said. Number 10, American First policy. We will stop trying to build democracies overseas, wasting trillions of dollars, but we're going to focus on defeating terrorists and putting Americans first. Now, that's the Donald Trump plan. That's the New Deal for Black America. Basically, he's saying, look, this is what I want to do for America. First of all, I applaud the man for at least having a plan for Black America, even though I want to see all America produce. But, let's take the Black America off. He has a plan for building the inner cities. And he's saying, look, I'm going to give you school choices. I mean, it should be your choice. where you go to school. Now, the person who's running the education department, I'm against that. I think somebody who knows the system of public school and somebody who worked in the school system should be running that. Somebody with some experience. He's getting too many people who don't have experience in these areas into office. No, that one to two people, yeah, but not everybody, Doc. Come on now. Come on. But he's saying, look, I'm going to give you opportunity to get school choices. Whatever you think is great for your child, I want that for your child. You want them homeschool? Gotcha. You want them public school? Gotcha. Charter school? Gotcha. Religious school? Gotcha. I gotcha. You have that choice. That's what America is all about. You shouldn't be forced to go to one type of school. Number two, he said, look, we're going to put money into the black community. We're going to put money in education. We're going to put money in historic black colleges. We're going to invest in the black community. We want to make sure the police doing their job. Hey, Trump, make sure it's community-driven police building, not military building police. No, we're not having that. So make sure the money going to community building police departments, one that looks like, you know what I mean. So I can go on and on. He wants to invest in he says he's going to invest in the urban communities. He says we're going to bring jobs. He's going to give incentives, reasons. He's going to give every reason. He's going to make a deal that they can't refuse to come back into this country. Of course, he's going to slash their taxes to 15%, but it'll be made up by the amount of people that will be working, paying taxes. He do understand that if a company is overseas, then that means people is not working in America, and that's not helping America get the funding they need to fund all these other programs. So I can go on and on and on. Go back and watch the video. I'm going to hold his feet to the fire. You should hold his feet to the fire. He said it. He proclaimed it. He put it on paper as a policy. Now we got to watch him work it. Just like we would have did with Hillary Clinton, just like we would have did with Bernie Sanders, just like we would have did with Jill Stein. You got the policy in place. We want to see you implement it. Trump, you got this policy to rebuild black America into a productive, powerful, dominant society. Not to dominate people, but having that, and you should bring that same tenacity to the middle class in general, no matter what color they are. Bring that same tenacity to the middle class, no matter what color they are. Now, people, when he say black America, he's actually saying urban America or the inner cities. For some reason, people think inner cities is all about black people. It's not. But that's what he's saying. He wants to strengthen the inner cities. And he's going to strengthen, and he wants to say he's going to strengthen the rural areas because he wants to bring some of those countries back to the rural areas. Now, he ran on this. He ran on this. He ran on Bernie Sanders' platform, took it, and did better than Hillary Clinton. Now he done put his mouth out there. Now we got to make sure either he's going to put some action to his words or it's going to be another. We don't need another foot in the mouth politicians, Doc. Donald Trump, America is going to rally around you to make sure you do what you said you're going to do. I'm believing that you're going to do what you're going to say you do. I have no choice, really. But I don't want you to really. And it's clearly that you love the vibe that you get from the American people. That's why you go on tours. That vibe can stop, man. When you stab the American people in the back. It wasn't these corporate people that you put into your cabinet that got you into the office. It was the American people. Now remind every politician of that, not you. The American people have spoken what they need. And they heard, and you said you heard them, you wrote it down, and you say you're going to give them what they want. Now, am I going to trust that you're going to do it? I can trust you, but I'm not going to trust you. I'm going to be at it on this camera, hitting it hard for the American people. I want you to be a success, Doc. I know you're not really a Republican. You're independent that ran as a Republican. You know, just like I know Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat. He's an independent that ran a Democrat. Yes, he voted more Democratic than anybody else, but he's still independent. He don't have a hat. I'm an independent. So I'm feeling you, sir. You said you're going to do it. You got to do it. If not, the people are going to hold your feet to the fire. I thank you for putting the policy in place. I thank you for speaking out your mouth. I thank you for having it on record. Now put up or shut up. I'm Bob TV. Peace.